Let's have a quick peek at the components. You'll notice here on the view code that the fields, for example, we use a method called getIconField, and this icon field is a component used by the action. If we open that, getIconField, we'll notice it's a trait called getIconField, and there's a bunch of configuration. Basically, it builds our form so that we have an icon, we have a text, it has the hint in place, and it uses a certain variable. More about variables later. And this component returns an object. So components always need to return an object. If you have more items, you can use rows or columns to encapsulate them into an object. In this case, it's returning a row. So it's a component called row, which can take several columns of data. So let's move our hello world into its own component and start expanding that. First we need to create it. So we'll copy the shadow box, which is a very simple component. We call it getHello. And now you need to pay close attention to the namings. So we have getHello. And the method name is also getHello. And this will return to us. Let's take the component text here. And we can put it here. And now, because the context here is components, we call it directly. So we call getComponentText. And if you don't remember how the getComponentText works, you have the hint here, or you can look at the whole documentation, and it will give you all the parameters and styles for this method. So this will now return us a text component inside a row which has a styling of a shadow box. We'll look at the styling as well. Now, since we created a new component, we need to declare it here at the components file. So getHello, we'll add it here. And then we call it, instead of calling this, we'll change this to getHello. This is our method here is expecting content. We don't need that because we already have the content here. So let's take it away. And now when we refresh the view, we will see one hello world text inside the shadow box. It doesn't look that good, so let's go and style it a little. Best way to style, just like with CSS, is to add them in style sheets. Style sheets are good because they get downloaded by the client only once. So it lessens the payload between the server and the client. We'll open the component hello, and we add here, it's an array, and style. It's usually a good idea to use a shorthand for your action so that the style names don't collide with other actions in the system. And then we take this style name, and the styles are put inside themes. So the idea is to make these actions very easily themable. So we have only one theme here, which we can see on the web. So here we see the example theme, and the style file you will find from here. And this needs to be valid JSON, and the notations for the style are very similar to CSS. Most shorthands work exactly the same way. So we're going to define a margin. You can only use this one line notation like in the CSS. So we're going to put a bottom margin of 20 here. Now for the styles to update, we need to be on the main level of the app, because the style update is done only on the main level of the app. Later on we can check, we can do so that we define this action to be the main action. Okay, so we need to add some top margin as well, and refresh, and we have the margin set for our text. So we just created a new component called getHello. We moved things from our view to use our new component called getHello. And now if we want to start expanding the functionality, it's nicely encapsulated into its own trait. And here obviously it's a good idea to update the documentation. So this is just a placeholder documentation for your component methods. Nice thing about this is that you can easily take one component from one action and import it to another action.